I've been wanting to do this for a while, but we're going to be doing a Skylanders Spyros Venture PvP tier list. I've got everything laid out, and I'm only gonna go over the ones that people would find controversial. For example, Spyro, Cinder, Gill, Grunt, Prison Break, Ignitor, all of them. So let's just jump right into it. And we're going to be going down. We're going to be going from the bottom up. So it's be starting off with bad, and both of these I think will probably be really controversial. First is Trigger Happy. The damage on his primary, it's so bad. Yes, 36 DPS is nice. It just feels like it just isn't dealing that much damage. And his secondary is extremely hard to use. His tertiary is just on the wrong Skylander. It makes you extremely vulnerable. Yes, if you can get a good lineup, you can get amazing damage and it can get definitely a lot of profit. However, it's just not that worth it. And to top it off, it's 400. He has 400 HP. He just can't do anything. I could probably make another tier just for Trigger Happy. Next up is Eruptor. Eruptor, his primary just doesn't do that much. Unless you're a Mugmanta, but his better path is on Volcano. His secondary is actually quite good and can actually win you a lot of games. And he does have quite a few good matchups. It's just, he just doesn't work. He sounds good on people, he just doesn't work. Okay, we have Spyro. Spyro, he just doesn't feel that consistent. It's just, his primary is really bad, and if you're on Cheap Burner, then it only goes to okay. And then his secondary is really bad, unless you're on Blitzburrow, and then it's pretty decent. However, Blitzburrow makes him extremely situational. And the only things holding him up is his speed, and also his slam, which deals a lot of damage. In decent, we have Drill Sergeant. I know Drill Sergeant is very controversial, but you can actually have quite a good damage output with his drills. You can deal up to 36 damage per hit, not even including crits. He's actually quite decent. And to top it off, he's actually kind of fast. You can just constantly just go around and just stay away from your opponent, just firing drills. And then he's got 480 HP and damage reduction. Problems being tech, he has poor elemental matchups, and his tertiary, oh my god, 2 damage. Like, what is even his point? Next controversial one is Ignitor. He has very low HP, and he does kind of make up for this with his extremely high damage, insane damage output. However, he's weak to water, and water is one of the most dominant elements. If you can see, where the water Skylanders are, and they're just so high. The lowest is Zap, and he's indecent. He does have damage reduction, but it's not enough. He's a close quarters Skylander and has 480 HP, the third lowest in the game. Wrecking Ball, I don't know about Wrecking Ball. He's all over the tier lists, but his primary is so bad. And his secondary is his, only good move. Because his tertiary, yes, it takes a short time to charge up your burp, and it does deal quite a bit of damage. If you get hit while it's charging it up, or when it's charged, it will deactivate the charge up. And it's just so annoying, because if that didn't happen, Wrecking Ball could be pretty good. But he's just, no. Whirlwind, it's the Tempest Clouds on Tempest Dragon. You can cover the whole map, deals really good damage, and you just can't escape the Tempest Clouds in close quarters, because they're just always on you, and just dealing that rapid fire damage. And if you get caught in multiple of them, then it's a GG. Zook just never really performed that well for me. Yes, I did once beat Stealth Elf. Don't get how that happened. But other than that, It's been a while since I played Zook. Hex is just better. There's just better options, I guess. Prison Break. Now, Prison Break is the most controversial one on this list. And we've got Cinder as the best Skylander in the game. Prison Break, what people always do is use his primary. And that is not how you use him. You gotta really rely on your secondary. And when you do, his damage is insane. He's good in close quarters because of his tertiary, which has knockback. He's got high HP, 580. He's got damage reduction, there's better path. And then he's got his secondary, which does have quite a bit of range, like splash. And then you can shoot your primary into the crystals to increase its range. He can just crowd control you. The amount of crowd control and area deny he does is insane. The lowest for me you can put is decent. If you put him in okay, you really need to use him. Drobot. Where do I even begin with Drobot? His secondary is really bad. It's really hard to use it. Yes, it can cause a little bit of chaos on the screen, but that's really all it does. His primary, yes, it deals amazing damage. However, it is quite inaccurate. Yes, he is fast. He has his afterburners, which deal quite a bit of damage. He's got 580 HP. It's just Gill Grunt exists. And Gill Grunt just does better. I just feel like Gill Grunt's just more consistent. And then Gill Grunt, his damage on his primary is insane. His charge up's amazing. Very fast. If you actually, so let's say you charge it up, the time in between you can, if you fire and then charge it up, it only takes around, 2 harpoons. So, you're not really... Oh my god. He's kind of fast, and because you only face one way, you can just go back. You can just jetpack backwards whilst firing forward and hitting your opponent. I'm telling you, Gill Grunt is good. Chop. This will be one of the most controversial ones on the list. Why is this low? I see the top tier for the top 10 best Skylanders. So that's why he's not in that tier. And also why he's 14th is because he just doesn't deal that much damage. His tertiary is very inaccurate and it deals no damage. 17 damage is nothing. His primary just doesn't deal that much damage. Yes, it's more about DPS, but it doesn't stand out compared to other primaries. It's just all about his shield. He's really good. It's just I can't see him being any higher. Hex is the ultimate camper, and I think we can all agree on she being that high. Whamshell, it's his combos. You can one-shot, double trouble. If, you get all the hits in, you can one-shot him. For Camo, if we actually look what he's got 600 HP, he can heal, he can go on the ground where he can't take damage, and then he can fire the watermelons, which deal a lot of damage. His primary deals actually quite decent DPS, and his secondary, that's the only thing holding him back. But his primary, his tertiary, and his health are in more than enough to make up for it. So that's why I have him as the 10th best Skylander in the game. And plus he's Life, and Life has the best elemental matchups, being weak to Undead, which to be honest isn't that bad, because Undead, it's just, they are one of the best elements. It's just, I feel like elemental advantage doesn't really affect Undead that much. And then they're good against water, which, like I said earlier, water is really good. Bash on me, he's this low. Yes, his primary deals amazing damage. However, you've got to basically be hugging him to deal damage. It has such short range, and I almost lost by the end Stump Smash because of Bash's short range. Luckily, 2 hits from Stump Smash doesn't deal as much damage as 1 hit from Bash, and that's basically what was going on the whole time. Stump Smash would hit me twice, and I would hit Stump Smash because Stump Smash just outranged me. So I could basically just counter Stump Smash's higher HP with just my more damage. So that's one way that Bash's short range on his primary can hold him back. And then his tertiary, it's just really hard to use. Then we've got Dynarang. Dynarang is so slept on. Oh my god. He's so versatile. Your primary, you can use it in mid-range and you can use it in long range with your Boomerang Finesse. Your secondary, that's really good in close quarters. Stonefist Traps, you can section off parts of the map. So let's say on Aqueduct, you can put it in the middle, and they can't go past that unless they want to take damage. And you've got 600 HP to top that off. And if you've got food and power-ups on, then you can just use your Boomerang to just grab them. To grab the food or the power-ups. And because you're Boomerang Finesse, then you can control it and pick it up. Dynarang is good. And people don't see that. Now the final Skylander I'm going to be talking about today is Cinder. Her whole game strategy is just your secondary. That's all you need to do. Just press X and just keep on using that. They can't hit you, you can hit them. That's what Cinder is. Like, if we're talking about Dynarang only takes her to about half HP. Yeah. Dynarang, and he's 5th best. Cinder, she's just by far the best Skylander in the game. And if we were to rank it on like, let's say you're not doing it. Let's say you're not spamming X, then should probably be indecent. So that's my Skylanders Spyros Adventure PvP tier list. If there are any changes you would like to make to this tier list, then put it in the comments below. And I'll see you next time. Bye.